Bgmc. The biblical truth lives here.
The ancient Hebrew scriptures foretold of the Anointed One, Yeshua HaMashiach. The Messiah Yeshua came to call the people back to the truth of His word and to follow that righteous path. Yeshua then called Jewish men to be His disciples, and after His death and resurrection, those Jewish men told the world about the Jewish Messiah. Now, after 2,000 years, Beth Goyim Messianic congregation has that same calling of those Jewish men, telling all people, both Jew and Gentile, about the proper ancient path, teaching the Route 66 King's Highway from Genesis through to Revelation, and how you need and can get back to the proper roots of the faith and a closer walk with God. Now, let's hear the message.
Their teacher Shaul was not there,
Aquí su maestro Shaul no estaba.
overseeing his baby congregation.
No estaba mirando o cuidando de esta congregación
So
joven.
we see what happens.
Entonces vemos lo que sucedió.
He's saying your old nature is having its way with you.
Está diciendo aquí que la antigua naturaleza los está atrapando.
And this is why you need your professors, your rabbis, your pastors.
Por eso es que necesitas tus profesores, tus rabinos, tus maestros.
Because they can hopefully see what's going on in your life
Porque así ellos podrán ver lo que está sucediendo en tu vida
and try to guide you in a proper direction.
y tratar de guiarte en una dirección positiva.
At minimum, teach as much as possible.
Por lo menos enseñar lo que más sea posible.
But then what's supposed to go on,
Pero lo que se supone que debe suceder,
and this is what was not going on in Galatia,
y eso es lo que no estaba sucediendo en Galacia,
the older believers are supposed to squish down the uprising.
es que los creyentes mayores tenían que poder apagar ese levantamiento.
So when somebody is bringing a bad teaching,
Entonces, si alguien te estaba trayendo una mala enseñanza,
or they're, well, I don't agree with that,
o decir, oh, no estoy de acuerdo con eso,
but you don't bring it to your rabbi's attention,
pero no lo traes a la atención del rabino,
then you're a snake.
entonces eres una serpiente.
And if you're an older believer and you allow it,
Y si eres un creyente antiguo, un anciano, y lo permites,
then you're an accessory to murder.
entonces tú estás siendo un accesorio para asesinato.
Because you're allowing that person to murder Shaul's character.
Porque estás permitiendo que esa persona asesine el carácter de Rav Shaul.
He's not there to defend himself. Why aren't you defending your teacher?
Él no está ahí para defenderse. ¿Por qué no defiendes a tu maestro?
This is what's so important about the old nature.
Esto es importante acerca de la naturaleza antigua.
Let's go on to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Any questions or comments?
Preguntas o comentarios.
Verse number 13 again.
Versículo 13 otra vez.
For brothers, you were called to be free, only do not let that freedom become an excuse for allowing your old nature to have its way. Instead, serve one another in love. Okay, in verse 13,
En el versículo 13.
to confirm Shaul is still preaching to keep Torah,
Para confirmar que Rav Shaul aún está predicando la Torah.
we see him referencing the old nature.
Vemos que él está haciendo referencia de la naturaleza antigua.
That means he's keeps preaching the Torah,
Eso significa que él aún está predicando la Torah.
because you will only know that what is old and what is wrong if somebody is teaching you Torah.
Porque tú puedes saber cuando alguien está equivocado si estás aprendiendo la Torah.
Okay? What would be the difference between old and new natures?
¿Qué sería la diferencia entre antigua y nueva naturaleza?
Okay, looking at a woman in lust.
Mirar a una mujer en codicia.
That is that is the 10th commandment.
Ese es
Don't covet.
Mandamiento número 10, no codiciarás.
Lo takmod. So he must have been teaching lo takmod.
Él debe haber enseñado lo Talmud.
Okay, I'll say it right. Lo takmod. Okay? So you see in verse 13, he is teaching the Torah, but if you're so set on getting rid of it,
Eh,
he is preaching the Torah,
Ves que él está predicando la Torah,
but your tickly ears wants to get rid of it.
pero tus oídos cosquillosos quieren deshacerse de esa enseñanza.
Your satanic old nature wants to get rid of it.
Tu naturaleza antigua satánica quiere deshacerse de eso.
You're not willing to study and go, well, if there's an old nature, that means he must be teaching something that's true.
Si aquí él está enseñando que hay una antigua naturaleza, entonces está enseñando que hay algo que es verdad.
Now, remember in Galatia, it was a pagan city.
Recuerda que Galacia era una ciudad pagana.
They're surrounded by pagans.
Estaba rodeada de paganos.
So these people that are coming to the congregation,
Esta gente que está llena de estos paganos que están asistiendo a la congregación
were once pagans.
fueron una vez paganos.
Now they've come to know Yeshua,
Ahora conocieron a Yeshua,
but now they're allowing their old nature to come in.
pero ahora están permitiendo que su naturaleza antigua regrese.
So he must have been preaching the Torah because there's a difference between old and new.
Entonces él debe haber estado predicando la Torah porque hay una diferencia entre lo antiguo y lo nuevo.
Let's go to the next slide.
Naturaleza. Siguiente diapositiva.
Verse 13 again.
Versículo 13 otra vez.
Could you just make it just one click up, and then that way Veronica's not freezing.
No me acuerdo.
For brothers, you were called to be free, only do not let that freedom become an excuse for allowing your old nature to have its way. Instead, serve one another in love. Now here's where you need the words of Messiah.
Aquí es cuando necesitan las palabras del Mesías.
Because you want Yeshua's definition of love.
Porque quieren la definición del amor de Yeshua.
What is Yeshua's definition of love?
¿Cuál es la definición de amor de Yeshua?
In Yochanan 14, verse 15,
En Juan 14, versículo 15.
is, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments.
Dice, si me amas, guardarás mis mandamientos.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength.
Y amarás al Señor tu Dios con toda tu mente, alma y fuerzas y corazón.
But most Gentiles don't know the Ve'ahavta.
Pero muchos gentiles no saben la Ve'ahavta.
And you shall love the Lord your God
Y tú amarás al Señor tu Dios
with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength.
con todo tu corazón, alma, mente y fuerzas.
Okay?
Espíritu.
So in verse 14 let's read verse 14 now,
Ahora-
Galatians 5:14.
Ahora leamos el versículo 14 de Gálatas capítulo 5.
For the whole of the Torah is summed up in this one sentence, love your neighbor as yourself. Okay? Now, the Gentiles are thinking, see, love your neighbor as yourself.
Y los gentiles van a decir, oh mira, debes amar a tu prójimo como a ti mismo.
And they think that we don't have to keep the Torah anymore.
Y piensan que no debemos observar la Torah más.
Then why is he quoting the Torah?
Entonces, ¿por qué le está citando de la Torah?
What?
¿Eh?
¿Qué?
¿Qué? ¿Ma?
Ma? Ma?
Ma?
Ma? ¿Qué? What?
What?
Yeah, that's Torah in verse 14.
Lo que lees en el versículo 14 es la
And if you
Torah.
don't believe me, let's turn to let's hold your place there
Y si no me creen, vamos de aquí.
and turn to Vayikra, Leviticus 19, verse 18.
Vámonos al libro de Levíticos capítulo 19, versículo 18.
Leviticus 19,
Levíticos 19.
Vayikra,
Levíticos.
Leviticus 19, verse 18.
Levíticos 19, versículo 18.
Everybody got it?
Amén.
Don't take vengeance or bear a grudge against any of your people. Rather, love your neighbor as yourself. I am Jehovah. So Shaul was quoting Jehovah.
So Rab Shaul estaba citando a Jehová.
Why is he quoting Jehovah unless we got to keep the Torah?
¿Por qué está citando a Jehová a no ser que sea que tenemos que observar la Torah?
But so if he's quoting Jehovah there,
Pero si él está citando a Jehová aquí,
then he's going to be saying about circumcision.
entonces él también hablará de la circuncisión.
But if you want to have your old nature be your guide,
Pero si quieres tener tu vieja naturaleza
and you want to just do what you want to do,
y quieres hacer lo que tú quieres hacer,
well, as SpongeBob says, good luck with that.
como Bob Esponja dice, buena suerte.
Good luck with that. Okay, let's go back to Galatians 5, verse 14.
Vamos de vuelta a Gálatas capítulo 5, versículo 14.
For the whole of the Torah is summed up in this one sentence: love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, so right there is a perfect quote from the Torah.
Aquí vemos una perfecta cita de lo que dice en la Torah.
And everybody's seen that.
Están observando esto.
You know, maybe some other people who are Facebook preachers should understand this.
Quizá esos predicadores de Facebook deberían entender esto.
Right, Mr. G? Going on to the next slide.
Siguiente diapositiva.
Okay, let me just get over here. We're on slide 224.
Vamos a la diapositiva 224.
We're going on now to section number 6.
Vamos de vuelta a la sección número
Any
6.
questions or comments on the last section?
Preguntas o comentarios de la última
I
sección.
think this is the first time we've had pretty much an all-male Bible study.
Yo creo que esta noche ha sido la mayoría de asistentes varones.
This is a good thing.
Es algo bueno. How? No, I'm kidding.
Any questions on the previous section?
You can stay here. Preguntas.
Even Asher is a man. All right. Section number 6.
Sección número 6.
You good there, Rev Will? Marty, you okay? You awake?
We're good down here.
Good, Rabbi.
He just woke up. He's got his camera on. Nice haircut. All right. Now we're going to verse 16 through 18.
Vamos a ver los versículos 16 al 18.
What I am saying is this: run your lives by the Spirit, and you will not do what your old nature wants. For the old nature wants what is contrary to the Spirit, and the Spirit wants what is contrary to the old nature. These oppose each other, so that you will find yourself unable to carry out your good intentions. But if you are led by the Spirit, then you are not in subjection to the system that results from perverting the Torah into legalism. Amen? Another key section to completely understand that Shaul is not preaching to do away with the Torah.
Esta es otra sección donde vamos a ver que Rab Shaul no está predicando el alejarse de la Torah.
Okay? So, in this section,
En esta sección,
he writes about the old nature and what is the difference between old and new nature again.
él escribe de la naturaleza antigua.
Once again, he's saying it a second time.
Él otra vez está mencionando esto.
Now understand that he's not writing on paper.
Entiendan que él no está escribiendo en papel.
He's writing on a parchment paper
Está escribiendo en papel pergamino
or some other method of writing.
o quizá otro método de escritura.
He's saying something a second time.
Él está diciendo algo una segunda vez.
And he doesn't have like a ream of paper like we go through.
y no tiene una
500 pieces of paper.
una rema de papel.
He's not emailing.
Él no está mandando correos electrónicos.
He's not texting where, unlimited talk, text, and web.
No está mandando mensajes de texto en el internet.
So he's talking about the old nature again.
Él está hablando acerca de la naturaleza antigua otra vez.
That means there's a great problem going on in the congregation.
Eso significa que está habiendo un gran problema en la congregación.
Because many people are good for a little while.
Porque mucha gente está bien por un poco de tiempo.
But then the flame gets turned up a little bit.
Pero entonces la llama se enciende un poquito.
And, at first you're like, okay, you only got to do this.
Al principio, ok, solo vas a hacer esto.
Keep the Shabbat holy.
Guarda el Shabbat como santo.
Learn about the 7 holy days.
Aprende acerca de los 7 días santos.
Build the framework.
Comienza con la construcción, el esqueleto.
But usually the second year is where people really begin to fall away.
Usualmente el segundo año es cuando la gente comienza a caer.
Because they don't move, they don't grow in their walk with God.
Porque no han crecido en su caminar con Dios.
And this is what I see going on in Galatia.
Y eso es lo que estoy observando que ha sucedido en Galacia.
Because if people stay stagnated, they go backwards.
Porque si la gente está estancada, entonces ellos tienden a retroceder.
Once you start seeing people falling asleep during the lesson,
Una vez que ves que la gente se está comenzando a dormir durante la lección,
you know they're not going to last long walking with God.
tú sabes que no van a durar mucho caminando con el Señor.
Because they don't have that passion and that hunger anymore.
Porque no tienen esa pasión ni esa hambre.
And once you lose that passion,
Una vez que pierdas esa pasión,
Satan knows how to wait. He's like a Muslim.
Satanás sabe cómo esperar, es como un musulmán.
They could live in this country for years
Pueden vivir en este país por años
and then drive airplanes into the Twin Towers.
y después guiar
Well, that was-
aviones a las torres.
No, that was, it's a conspiracy by the government.
Es una conspiración del gobierno
And the world's flat too.
y el planeta es plano.
Whatever. If you study Islam, you understand they know how to wait.
Si estudias el Islam, entenderás que ellos saben cómo esperar.
Okay? But what happens to people,
Pero lo que sucede con la gente,
they're attentive,
están atentos,
they're learning,
están aprendiendo
and they're very inquisitive.
y preguntan mucho.
But then you start to see this
Después comienzas a ver esto
on Shabbat.
en Shabbat.
There's no more passion.
Ya no hay esa pasión.
Then you start to see changes in their life.
Y comienzas a ver esos cambios en la vida.
Because Satan knows knows when to attack. He's been studying humans since God made the first 2 of them.
Porque Satanás sabe cómo son las personas, ha estudiado a las personas.
How do you keep Satan away from you?
¿Cómo mantienes a Satanás lejos de ti?
You got to understand that you're a child of a king,
Tienes que entender que eres un hijo del rey,
that you're a Hebrew, that you're supposed to cross over.
que eres un hebreo y que se supone que debes cruzar.
And that
al otro
means
lado.
changing your life.
Y significa que debes cambiar tu vida.
But here, look at verse 16.
Pero veamos aquí en el versículo 16. 16.
What I'm saying is this: run your lives by the Spirit, then you will not do what your old nature wants. Okay, once you when you really walk with the Spirit,
Cuando realmente comienzas a caminar con el Espíritu,
the Spirit is not going to contradict the Father.
el Espíritu no le va a contradecir al Padre.
The Spirit is the lawyer.
El Espíritu es el abogado.
He's not going to make things easy. He's going to give you choices.
No va a hacer las cosas fáciles, sino que te va a dar a escoger.
He's going to guide you in the law.
Te va a guiar en la ley.
Okay? You break something,
rompiste algo,
you steal something,
o robaste algo,
or you kidnap a child,
o secuestraste a un niño,
or you kidnap somebody, we're going to hang you.
o secuestras a alguien, te vamos a colgar.
And that's what I think we should go back to doing.
Y yo creo que eso es lo que deberíamos regresar a hacer.
Oh, that's what we'll be talking about on the sledgehammer.
De eso hablábamos en las
You
noticias.
kidnap my child, we're going to hang you from a tree.
Tú te robas a mi niño, te vamos a colgar de un árbol.
And don't tempt me.
Y no me tientas.
The police need to understand that we hunted down the Nazis.
What?
The police need to
La
understand
policía necesita entender
that if you take a child out of a home because he's not vaccinated,
porque que si te llevas a un hijo o un niño de la casa porque no tiene las vacunas,
don't worry, one day you're going to retire.
no te preocupes que un día te vas a retirar.
One day Hitler lost the war.
Un día Hitler perdió la guerra
We're going to hunt you down
y te vamos a buscar
and we're going to take all your stuff.
y te vamos a quitar todo.
Okay? Satan knows how to hunt you down.
Satanás sabe cómo cazarte.
This is what Shaul is trying to tell these babies.
Y eso es lo que Rab Shaul le está diciendo a sus bebés.
You got to walk with the Spirit,
Tienes que caminar con el Espíritu,
not with the world.
no con el mundo.
But how do you walk with the Spirit if you don't know the Spirit?
¿Cómo vas a caminar con el Espíritu si no conoces al Espíritu?
Satan masquerades as a bearer of light.
Satanás se disfraza como el que trae la luz.
Jehovah says in Devarim 13,
Jehová dice en Deuteronomio 13,
I'm going to let that guy's prophecies come true even though they're not from me,
voy a dejar que las profecías de ese hombre se hagan realidad aunque no venga de mí.
to see if you really do love me.
A ver si realmente tú me amas.
You got to know that you got to understand the Spirit.
Tienes que poder entender el Espíritu.
Then you will not do what your old nature wants.
Entonces no vas a hacer lo que la naturaleza vieja quiere.
You mean I got to stay awake on Shabbat? I thought it was for rest.
Significa que tengo que mantenerme despierto en Shabbat. Yo pensé que era que podíamos descansar.
Well, then stay at home in your daggone bed.
Entonces quédate en tu cama calientito.
Don't take up the air in my congregation
No te robes el aire de mi congregación
with your big old nose.
con tu narizota.
Okay? Verse 13 is very important.
Verso 18 es importante.
16 is very important.
16, no 18.
I said
Well,
I
all of
said
them.
13.
16.
Run your
importante.
lives by the Spirit.
Lleven sus vidas por el Espíritu.
How do you run your life by the Spirit?
¿Cómo es que andas con el Espíritu o por el Espíritu?
You have to learn the laws.
Tienes que aprender las leyes.
Let's go to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Let's go to verse 16.
Versículo 16.
What I'm saying is this, run your lives by the Spirit, then you will not do what your old nature wants. Okay? Now let's see what the Spirit is.
Veamos qué es el Espíritu.
Spirit is G4151.
La palabra Espíritu es G4151.
It is the Greek word pneuma.
Es la palabra griega pneuma.
It means the third person of the triune God.
Significa la tercera persona de la triunidad de Dios.
The Holy Spirit,
El Espíritu Santo,
co-equal,
coigual,
co-eternal
coeterno,
with the Father and the Son.
con el Padre y el Hijo.
Okay, so it's very important to understand
Es importante el comprender
this pneuma would not contradict the Father or the Son.
que no va a contradecir, que este pneuma no va a contradecir ni al Padre ni al Hijo.
If the Spirit is a co-equal
Si el Espíritu es coigual o igual,
and the Spirit, Jehovah said, keep kosher.
Jehová dijo, observa kosher.
Okay? The Spirit is not going to tell you, go eat shrimp
El Espíritu no te va a decir, ve a comerte camarones
or calamare,
o calamares.
squid.
Calamares o pulpo.
Okay? So verse 16 says
En el versículo 16 dice,
about the old nature,
acerca de la naturaleza antigua.
that must mean you've got a new nature.
Significa que debes tener una nueva naturaleza.
Next slide.
Siguiente diapositiva.
Verse 16 and 17 now.
Versículos 16 y 17.
What I'm saying is this, run your lives by the Spirit, then you will not do what your old nature wants. The old nature wants what is contrary to the Spirit. And the Spirit wants what is contrary to the old nature. These oppose each other so that you find yourselves unable to carry your good intentions. Okay? So let's look closely at verse 17.
Veamos de cerca el versículo 17.
Now you know what the word spirit means.
Ahora que sabes qué significa la palabra espíritu,
Okay? The old nature wants what is contrary to the Spirit.
la naturaleza vieja quiere lo que es contrario al espíritu.
So that means it's opposite.
Significa que es lo opuesto.
So what would be opposite?
¿Qué es lo opuesto?
Eating leavened bread on the feast of Hag Matzah.
Comer pan leudado en la fiesta de panes sin levadura.
Okay? Doing what God said not to do.
Hacer lo que Dios mandó a que no se haga.
Putting your leavening in the garage.
Poner tu levadura en tu garage.
And trying to not say it's part of your house.
Y tratar de decir que no es parte de tu casa.
Okay? By verse 17,
Con el versículo 17.
you absolutely understand that Shaul is still preaching the Torah.
Se entiende que absolutamente el Rab Shaul estaba enseñando de la Torah.
The Spirit of God would never contradict the Father.
El Espíritu de Dios no va a contradecir al Padre.
Let's look at verse 17 in the middle there.
Veamos al versículo 17 en el medio.
The Spirit wants what is contrary to the old nature. So the Spirit is going to try to get you to come to good.
Entonces el Espíritu va a tratar de traerte a lo que es bueno.
What is good?
¿Qué es bueno?
How are you going to know what good is?
¿Cómo tú vas a saber qué es bueno?
That is the 613 laws of God.
Esas son las 613 leyes de Dios.
But if you think you know better than your rabbis,
Pero si crees que sabes mejor que tus rabinos,
but you've never been raised up to be a teacher,
pero nunca fuiste levantado para ser un maestro,
you've never led anybody to the Lord,
nunca trajiste a nadie al Señor,
you don't have any schooling.
no tienes ninguna educación.
I read the Bible.
Oh, yo leo la Biblia.
So does Satan.
También Satanás.
Do you understand that he does?
¿Entiendes que él lo hace?
How do you think he quoted it to Yeshua?
¿Cómo crees que él citó a Yeshua en las
How do
escrituras?
you think he quoted Psalm 91?
¿Cómo es que él citó el Salmo 91?
He read it.
Él lo leyó.
People just don't understand
La gente no entiende.
that the blood of what you're screwing up is on your head.
Que la sangre que tú estás dañando está sobre tu cabeza.
Ezekiel 33 is very clear.
Ezequiel 33 es muy claro.
So here Shaul is trying to tell him, the Spirit wants what's contrary to old nature.
Aquí Rab Shaul está diciendo que el espíritu está en contra de la naturaleza.
But we're
antigua,
under grace.
pero estamos bajo la gracia.
Then what's the old nature?
¿Y cuál es la naturaleza antigua?
Why can't I look at naked pictures of women anymore?
Porque ya no puedo mirar a fotografías de mujeres desnudas.
Come on, she's like, built like a beautiful house.
Ella es como una hermosa casa.
She goes to the gym a lot.
Ella va al gimnasio.
I just want my wife to look like that.
Yo quisiera que mi esposa se
That's
vea
why I'm
así.
studying the other women.
Por eso estoy estudiando las otras mujeres.
But the Christians always talk about the Spirit.
Los cristianos siempre hablan del espíritu.
They don't understand what the Spirit's job is.
Ellos no entienden cuál es el trabajo del espíritu.
The Spirit wants what is contrary to the old nature.
El espíritu quiere lo que es contrario a la naturaleza antigua.
What is the old nature?
¿Cuál es la naturaleza
Give
antigua?
me presents on Messiah's birthday.
Dame obsequios en el cumpleaños del Mesías.
Does that work in the world?
Es así como en el mundo.
You go over to somebody else, when you're a kid and you're a pagan,
Cuando eras niño y eras pagano
and you went to your friend's birthday party,
y fuiste a la fiesta de cumpleaños de tu amigo,
did he give you presents?
¿te daba él obsequios
Or did you give him presents?
o le dabas a él obsequios?
But we're gonna have birthday presents on Messiah's birthday.
Pero vamos a tener obsequios de cumpleaños en el cumpleaños del
That's
Mesías.
that's what pagans do.
Eso es lo que los paganos hacen.
Verse 17.
Versículo 17.
For the old nature wants what is contrary to the spirit, and the spirit wants what is contrary to the old nature. These oppose each other, so that you find yourselves unable to carry out your good intentions. In verse 17,
En el versículo 17,
the light, which is Torah,
la luz que es la Torah
opposes the dark.
se opone a la oscuridad.
The spirit is the light.
El espíritu es la luz.
The light is the Torah.
La luz es la Torah.
That opposes the darkness.
Eso se opone a la oscuridad.
Remember John chapter 3?
¿Recuerda Juan capítulo 3?
Yeah, well, most of the body of Messiah has forgotten that.
La mayoría del cuerpo del Mesías se ha olvidado de eso.
Yeshua talks about the light and the darkness, right?
Yeshua habla de la luz y la oscuridad.
That the light overcomes the darkness,
Que la luz sobrepasa a la oscuridad.
and the darkness doesn't like the light.
Y a la oscuridad no le gusta la luz.
Okay, well, how do you have the light?
¿Cómo es que tú tienes la luz?
How do you have the light?
¿Cómo es que tú tienes la
What
luz?
is the light?
¿Qué es la luz?
The Torah is the light.
La Torah es la luz.
Well, Jesus is the light.
Pero Jesús es la luz.
Right, he's the living Torah, you clowns.
Sí, porque Él es la luz, la Torah viviente, payaso.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
En el principio era la luz y la luz era con Dios y la luz era Dios.
You see what Shaul's trying to do here?
¿Ves cómo Rab Shaul está haciendo esto?
I wish this guy would go castrate
Yo
himself.
deseo que este hombre se castre.
Wish the guy would go commit suicide.
Me está diciendo que cometa suicidio.
But then in verse 17 he says you find yourself unable to carry out your good intentions.
Y en el versículo, what verse, 17.
17. You find yourselves unable to carry out your good intentions.
Ustedes no pueden hacer sus buenas intenciones.
Why?
¿Por qué?
If you always find yourself without money,
Si ustedes se encuentran sin dinero,
what is the problem?
¿cuál es el problema?
Since God is saying, if you follow Torah,
Porque Dios está diciendo, si sigues la Torah,
you will have provisions.
tú tendrás provisiones.
But if you can't pay your bills,
Pero si no puedes pagar tus recibos,
why are you unable to carry out your good intentions?
¿por qué no puedes hacer lo que deseas? Tu buena intención.
Did God change?
¿Cambió Dios?
No.
No.
So you're not walking in the light.
Entonces no estás caminando en la luz.
When you look at people's lives and they're constantly a mess,
Cuando estás mirando la vida de la gente y es un desastre total.
this is what Shaul's talking about in verse 17.
Eso es lo que Rab Shaul habla en el versículo 17.
What? You can't do anything good. Why?
No puedes hacer nada bueno, ¿por qué?
Why?
¿Por qué?
Answer the question, why?
Responde, ¿por qué?
Why is your life in the toilet?
¿Por qué tu vida está en el excusado?
Why don't you just stick your head in the bowl and flush?
¿Por qué no te metes la cabeza en el excusado y
You don't find you
mandas el agua?
can't do anything good
No puedes hacer nada bueno
because you're stuck in the old nature because you don't want to be trained.
porque estás en la naturaleza vieja porque no quieres ser educado.
This is what he's saying.
Eso es lo que él está diciendo.
Everybody's seeing this.
Ah,
Or am
todos
I
están
just out to
mirando.
lunch today? Do I need some more coffee?
¿O necesito más café?
It's quite a fascinating letter.
Es una carta muy fascinante.
I'm glad we're doing it.
Y estoy
Is everybody enjoying
feliz
it?
de que lo estamos haciendo.
I can get off my soapbox. I can go just hang out with the Lord and do it alone. Next slide.
Siguiente diapositiva.
Now we're focusing on verse 18.
Nos enfocaremos en el versículo 18.
But if you are led by the Spirit, then you are not in subjection to the system that results from perverting the Torah into legalism. Okay? This is what the Christians focus on.
Esto es lo que los cristianos se enfocan.
Because the other versions say, you're not under the law.
Porque aquí dice, no están bajo la ley.
Then who are you following?
Entonces, ¿a quién está siguiendo?
It can't mean you're not under the law
No puede significar esto que no estás bajo la ley,
because that would contradict verse number 1.
porque eso le contradice al versículo 1.
But since most people can only read one verse at a time,
Pero como mucha gente puede leer solamente un versículo a la vez,
they have a problem following, reading an entire chapter of the Bible.
tienen un problema leyendo el capítulo completo,
They're like some of my students in the morning.
como muchos estudiantes en la mañana.
One of the kids was caught in a bold-faced lie today.
Uno de los niños fue encontrado mintiendo descaradamente.
Okay, well, we're not under the law.
No estamos bajo la ley.
Okay? When you try to fake something,
Cuando tratas de fingir algo,
you're going to get caught.
te van a atrapar.
So if you're not under God's laws,
Si no estás bajo las leyes de Dios,
what are you doing?
¿qué estás haciendo?
So I asked one of the students this morning in theology,
Le pregunté a uno de los estudiantes en la mañana en teología,
what are you doing?
¿qué estás haciendo?
As soon as you stutter, I know you're lying.
Cuando comienzas a titubear, ya sé que estás mintiendo.
Okay? Once you stutter to God,
Una vez que titubeas,
look at verse 18.
versículo 18.
But if you're led by the Spirit, then you're not in subjection to the system that results in perverting the Torah into legalism. Once you say you're not under the law,
Una vez que dices que no estás bajo la ley,
then you're going to be like that child this morning,
entonces vas a ser como ese niño en la mañana.
doing whatever that child wanted to do.
Hacer lo que ese niño quería hacer.
Okay? Once you say, well, we're not under law,
Una vez que digas no estamos bajo la ley,
then what did verse number 1 say?
¿qué es lo que el versículo 1 decía?
You're free.
Tú estás libre.
Who are you free to walk with?
¿Estás libre para caminar con quién?
And one other word we haven't touched on tonight
Y otra palabra que no hemos tocado hoy.
was, remember last week we talked a lot about faithful.
Recuerda que hablamos la semana pasada de fidelidad.
Who are you going to be faithful to if you're not under the law?
¿A quién tú le vas a ser leal si no estás bajo la ley?
So actually verse 18 is a very good way of writing verse 18 from the CJB,
La completa Biblia judía escribió muy bien el versículo 18.
because perverting the Torah,
Porque dice pervertir la Torah.
the rabbis perverted the Torah.
Los rabinos pervirtieron la Torah.
Because remember they questioned Yeshua, you don't do the tradition of the elders.
Porque recuerda que le dijeron a Yeshua, tú no sigues la tradición de los antiguos.
Okay, so some people say we're not under the law.
La gente dice que ya no estamos bajo la ley.
Okay, so we're not under the law.
Entonces no estamos bajo la ley.
Let's take it a different way.
Tomémosle de una manera diferente.
That's correct, I'm not under the law. I'm not being oppressed by the law.
Está bien, no estoy oprimido ni estoy bajo la ley.
Let's agree with it.
Estemos de acuerdo con eso.
I'm not being oppressed with it when I want to do it.
Yo no estoy oprimido cuando quiero hacerlo.
Listen up.
Escucha,
Let's take their argument.
tomemos el argumento de ellos.
Because the Christians say we're not going to be oppressed by the law. We're being oppressed by the law.
Porque los cristianos dicen que son oprimidos por la ley.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Estás correcto absolutamente.
But when you want to do something, you're not being oppressed by anything, are you?
Pero cuando quieres hacer algo no estás siendo oprimido por nada, ¿verdad?
Right?
¿Verdad?
You know, Yeshua, that's Shmui. Shmui, do you want a piece of chocolate cake?
¿Quieres un pedazo de chocolate, de pastel de chocolate?
Hannah, you want a piece of chocolate cake?
¿Quieres pastel de chocolate?
The two kids were like,
Los niños pusieron a casa de contento.
okay, you ask anybody you want a piece of chocolate cake, they're usually going to go.
Pregúntale a alguien si quiere un pedazo de pastel de chocolate y van a sonreír.
Because they want the chocolate cake. You want the chocolate cake, right?
Porque quieren el pastel de chocolate.
Nana, you want the chocolate cake? Would you like want a big piece of chocolate? Yeah. So when you want to do something, you're not being oppressed by it.
Cuando quieres hacer algo no estás siendo oprimido.
So we're not oppressed by the law because I want to do it.
Entonces no estás oprimido por la ley porque quieres hacerlo.
Because the law is what draws me closer to God
Porque la ley te va a acercar más a Dios
and to His Son Yeshua.
y a su hijo Yeshua.
It would teaches me how to be faithful in my marriage to Jehovah.
Porque me enseña a ser fiel en el matrimonio que tengo con Jehová.
So I'm not being crushed by something I love to do.
No estoy siendo aplastado por algo que me encanta
So
hacer.
that's what you need to say to the stupid Christians.
Esto es lo que tienes que decir a los cristianos estúpidos.
I'm not being crushed by the law
Yo no estoy siendo aplastado por la ley,
because I love to eat chocolate cake.
porque me gusta comer pastel de chocolate.
Nana, do you like to eat chocolate cake? Shmui, do you love to eat chocolate cake? So it's not going to be a challenge for them to eat chocolate cake.
No va a ser algo duro para ellos comer el pastel de chocolate.
It's going to be a challenge for mom to clean the floor because there's going to be a lot of crumbs.
Va a ser duro para mamá limpiar el piso porque va a haber muchas migajas.
Okay? So you're not being oppressed by the law
No está siendo oprimido por la ley.
when you love to do something. Need batteries? Hold on, we need a battery change. Verse 18, versículo 18. But if you're led by the Spirit, then you're not in subjection to the system that results from perverting the Torah into legalism. Okay? Un momento.
Okay.
So I'm not being oppressed
No estoy siendo oprimido
by something I love to do.
por algo que yo amo hacer.
But what the CJB version does point out here
La Biblia completa judía señala
in verse 18,
en el versículo 18
perverting the Torah into legalism,
pervertir la Torah para el legalismo.
and Yeshua told us not to do the traditions.
Yeshua nos dijo que no debemos hacer la tradición.
Okay? The rabbis added 500 new Shabbat laws.
Los rabinos adhirieron al Shabbat 500 nuevas leyes.
We're not going to add anything to God's laws.
No debemos adherir nada a la ley de Dios.
All right, let's go on to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
We're going to finish up chapter 5 this week.
Vamos a terminar el capítulo 5 esta semana.
We're now up to section number 7,
Estamos ahora en la
section 7,
sección 7.
versículo 19 al 21, verse 19 through 21. Okay? This is part, it's called The Old Nature Does. It expresses itself in.
Esta sección se titula La naturaleza antigua se expresa a sí misma.
This section proves
Esta sección prueba,
that Shaul was teaching the Torah.
esta sección prueba que Shaul estaba enseñando la Torah.
Okay? It is perfectly evident that the old nature does what the old nature does. It expresses itself in sexual immorality, impurity, and indecency, involvement with the occult and with drugs, in feuding, fighting, becoming jealous, and getting angry, in selfish ambition, factionalism, intrigue, and envy, in drunkenness, orgies, and things like these. I warn you now, as I have warned you before, those who do such things will have no share in the kingdom of God. Okay? This section
Esta sección,
is now the nail in the coffin for the grace doctrine people.
esta sección es el clavo en el ataúd para la gente de la doctrina de la gracia.
And we're not using a nail gun, we're using an old-fashioned hammer.
Y no estamos utilizando la pistola automática,
Okay?
pero
Where,
lo estamos haciendo a mano.
where those guys can nail in the nail with one.
Para ellos vamos a vamos a clavarlos con un golpe.
Okay? So this is a nail in the coffin for the grace doctrine. Why?
Este es el clavo en el ataúd para la gente de la gracia.
Why is this section so needed?
¿Por qué esta sección es tan necesaria?
For how do you know that these things are wrong
Porque ¿cómo sabes que estas cosas están mal?
unless
A no ser
you're studying and keeping the Torah?
que estás estudiando y observando la Torah.
How do you know that orgies are bad?
¿Cómo sabes que las orgías son malas?
Because God said that in Leviticus.
Porque Dios habla de eso en Levítico.
He says who you can have sex with and who you can't have sex with.
Él dice, no puedes tener sexo con lo que quieras tener sexo.
And it says in Leviticus 19, you can't have sex with her mother and her daughter at the same time.
Porque dice ahí en Levítico 19 que no puedes tener sexo con la madre y la hija a la misma
That
vez.
would be called an orgy.
Eso sería llamado una orgía.
Ah. But the world says it's okay.
Pero el mundo dice que está bien.
There used to be a show on, I don't even know the stupid show.
Había un show.
What's the show that they used to have all the arguments and the fights on? They were staged.
What was the show? No,
The guy was a Jew from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Jerry Springer.
Jerry.
Jerry Springer.
Jerry
Martin. Martin. Jerry Springer.
He's a Jew.
Yeah, when Jews go bad, they go real bad.
Cuando los judíos van mal, ellos van hasta el fondo.
Okay, so let's take a look at verse 19.
Veamos al versículo 19.
It is perfectly evident what the old nature does. It expresses itself in sexual immorality, impurity, and indecency. Where am I going to find the criteria for all that?
¿Dónde yo voy a encontrar la criteria para esto?
That would be found in the Torah.
Esto sería encontrado en la Torah.
Okay? Where do I find what sexual immorality is?
¿Dónde voy a encontrar qué es el significado de inmoralidad sexual?
In Leviticus 18, verse 22,
En Levítico 18, versículo 22,
it says, Man shall not yada
cuando dice el hombre no yada,
a man as he yada a woman.
no, un hombre no,
Ye-
no se
Yada.
yada con una mujer,
Knowing,
no conocerá a una mujer.
okay, to know a person carnally, yada.
Conocer a esa persona carnalmente, yada.
He doesn't say to have intercourse.
No dice,
He does
It
not
says.
say intercourse.
o no dice relaciones sexuales.
It says the Hebrew word yada.
Dice la palabra hebrea yada.
It means to know carnally.
Significa conocerlo carnalmente.
Well, because you got the fag rabbis saying all these, well, it really doesn't say that.
Porque tienes a ese rabino homosexual que dice que realmente no dice eso.
You know, that's what the lesbian rabbi said.
Eso es lo que el rabino o la rabina lesbiana dice.
Well, if you're knowing somebody carnally,
Si conoces a alguien
and
carnalmente,
Leviticus 18:22 says you're not to know a man, if you're a man, to know a man carnally.
en Levíticos 18, 22 dice no debes conocer a un hombre carnalmente.
And God doesn't change Malachi 3:6.
Y Dios no cambia en Malaquías 3:6.
Okay? So if you think we're under grace,
Si crees que estamos bajo la gracia,
then keep following Satan.
entonces sigue a Satanás.
Okay? Let's read verse 19 and 20.
Leamos los versículos 19 y 20.
It is perfectly evident what the old nature does. It expresses itself in sexual immorality, impurity, indecency, involvement with the occult and with drugs, imputing, fighting, becoming jealous and getting angry, and selfish ambition, factionalism, intrigue. Okay? What is the occult?
¿Qué es lo oculto?
How am I going to know what the occult is
¿Cómo yo voy a saber qué es lo oculto?
unless I know who God is?
A no ser que yo sepa quién es Dios.
So here he has to be teaching about the Torah.
Aquí él tiene que estar enseñando de la Torah.
See, if you just went to this before even arguing with anybody.
Incluso, I'm sorry.
If you just went to these two verses
Si tú leyeras estos dos versos
without anything else,
sin nada más,
you can prove that Shaul is teaching to keep the law.
puedes probar que Rab Shaul está enseñando de la ley.
But remember, Satan knows how to lie.
Pero recuerda, Satanás sabe cómo mentir.
They'll focus on, well, we don't have to be circumcised.
Pero se enfocan en que no debemos ser circuncidados.
When he clearly says in this chapter,
Cuando claramente dice en este capítulo,
I'm still preaching circumcision.
aún estoy predicando de la circuncisión.
Let's go on to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Oh, wait, I still got to do some more of that. Let's stay on the same slide.
Sigamos en la misma diapositiva, por favor.
Verse 19 through 21.
Versículos 19 al 21.
It is perfectly evident that what the old nature does. It expresses itself in sexual immorality, impurity, and indecency, involvement with the occult, with drugs, feuding, fighting, becoming jealous, and getting angry, in selfish ambition, factionalism, intrigue, and envy, in drunkenness, orgies, and things like these. I warn you now, as I have warned you before, those who do such things will have no share in the kingdom of God. Okay? How do I understand what selfish ambition is?
¿Cómo yo voy a entender las ambiciones?
You got it?
Placer egoísta.
Okay? That would be coveting.
Sería la codicia.
That would be number 10.
Sería número 10.
So here he's also once again quoting Torah.
Una vez más, aquí está él citando la Torah.
Okay? Torah is summed up
La,
in these couple of verses.
la Torah está sumada en estos versículos.
Okay? Now, here verse 21.
Aquí en el versículo 21 ahora.
And envy, and drunkenness, orgies, and things like these. I warn you now, as I have warned you before, those who do such things will have no share in the kingdom of God. Amen?
Amén.
Now, here, drunkenness.
Las borracheras.
He's once again quoting the Torah.
Está una vez más citando la Torah.
Because remember, the parents take their son out to get stoned who gets drunk all the time.
Porque recuerda, en la Torah habla de los padres que llevan al hijo a ser apedreado porque está envuelto en borracheras.
That he lives wildly.
Que vive salvajemente.
So actually, Shaul is quoting that particular passage.
Rab Shaul está citando ese pasaje en particular.
Because living wildly means he's having sexual immorality.
Porque vivir salvajemente es la inmoralidad sexual.
Okay? And he's getting drunk. And then the parents can't do anything with the child.
Y se está emborrachando y los padres no pueden hacer nada con su hijo.
So they bring the child to the city gate because he also steals.
Entonces, y van a traer al hijo a las puertas de la ciudad que también él ha robado.
And he's bringing shame on the family.
Y está trayendo vergüenza a la familia.
That's what most people don't understand, shame.
Eso es lo que la mayoría de gente no entiende, la vergüenza.
And when you're a water bearer,
Y
you're ashamed.
Y cuando eres uno que jala el agua, ¿cómo es? No es aguatero. ¿O es aguatero?
when you're low level
Cuando eres de nivel bajo
and you're not trying to do better.
y no estás tratando de hacer bueno.
Now, we're called to be leaders.
Somos llamados a ser líderes.
Well, somebody's got to be a janitor.
Pues alguien tiene que ser el que limpia.
No, you're supposed to be the supervisor of the janitors.
Tú tienes que ser el supervisor de mantenimiento.
You're not called to be the janitor anymore.
Tú no debes ser el que limpia
You're
más.
called to be the head and not the tail.
A ti se te debe llamar la cabeza y no la cola.
Unless you own a janitorial business.
A no ser que tengas un negocio de limpieza
And then you hire people to work for you
y contrates a gente que trabaje para ti.
so that you don't have to do the work anymore.
Así ya no tienes que hacer ese trabajo.
Because you're supposed to be the head and not the tail.
Porque se supone que debe ser la cabeza y no la cola.
Okay? So here
Aquí,
in verse 21,
en el versículo 21,
You're going to have no share in the kingdom of God if you keep following the old nature.
No vas a tener parte en el reino de Dios si sigues manteniendo tu naturaleza antigua.
Now let's go to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Section number 8.
Sección número
Any
8.
questions on section number 7?
Preguntas en la sección número 7.
I'm glad you guys are so quiet tonight.
Estoy agradecido que están ustedes
The
callados.
one, now we got 2 ladies. Yes, Ferrero?
No, it's just interesting because in the Spanish, I think the English too. The Spanish the version it says sorcery instead of drugs. So when you check on the Strong's, it's pharmakeia, which is with the drugs. So it's interesting how it's vinculated. It's related. It's paralleling sorcery with drug use. That's all I wanted to say.
No, it's a very good parallel
Es un buen paralelo.
because this is why there was a movie that came out in 1934
Hay una película que salió en 1934
called Reefer Madness.
que se titulaba lo que era reefer. I don't know what reefer is.
Reefer,
Oh, river.
cannabis.
Oh, la locura
Mary
de
Jane.
marihuana.
Yes. It came out in
Okay.
1934.
Salió en 1934.
Okay? Now, what happens when you do drugs,
Lo que sucede cuando tú usas drogas,
when you smoke marijuana, it destroys your brain.
cuando utilizas la marihuana destruye tu cerebro.
And this is why we've now legalized it.
Por eso es que ahora está legalizada.
Because China and Russia know you got a bunch of potheads, they're not going to fight because they
Porque-
can't think.
La China y Rusia saben que si hay un montón de drogadictos no van a poder pelear.
And when you're a drug addict,
Y cuando eres un drogadicto,
you don't work
no trabajas.
because you're a selfish piece of garbage.
Porque eres un egoísta pedazo de basura.
Because you only care about yourself because there's a demon in you.
Porque solamente te importas de ti porque tienes un demonio
This
dentro
is
de
why
ti.
God said, don't get involved in it.
Por eso es que Dios dice no te metas en esas cosas.
Yes, sir.
And paralleling what Robinson is saying, it's like for a person who uses different drugs, you get to you open those doors. Depending what type of drugs you use, you're using that. And if we know, we like study the history, you go back, the Indians, they used to smoke all these things to
the
invoke
trance.
the spirits. That's sorcery. Right now, if people a lot of times that do heavy cocaine or want to start, they start talking to themselves. They're not talking to themselves. Those are demons they're talking to. They get that witch. That spiritual door is open for them to talk to them, but we cannot see them because it happened to me in the past. So it's the same, and I understand why it's more clear to me because I lived that life and I know how it feels to being on a certain level of being drugged and also talking and seeing things at the same time because of the same reaction that you get, because that window is completely open for anything. The demons tell you, go kill yourself, hang yourself, go do this, go do that. And I believe when people is out there, oh yeah, because I hear those voices telling me, yeah, it's true. Because what drug were you on? They're not gonna just be like right now tell you. Even right now they tell you, but you might probably be able to handle it a little bit more because you're awake. But once you're in that trance, in that ecstasy of being on drugs, it's way more easier for them to manipulate your brain.
Absolutely. Once you get hooked on that, that's why God says don't.
Una vez que tú te metes con drogas, no es bueno, por eso Dios dice que no lo hagas.
And that's why Yeshua says in Revelation 22, verse 15,
Por eso es que Yeshua también dice en Revelaciones 22.
outside are the
Versículo-
sorcerers.
Afuera están los hechiceros.
All right, section number 8, verse 22 and 23.
Sección número 8, versículos
We
26.
got 3 slides to go
22,
through.
23. Tenemos 3 diapositivas.
But the fruit of the Spirit is on the floor. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, humility, self-control. Nothing in the Torah stands against such things. Okay, in verse 22,
Versículo 22.
once again, Shaul mentions the Spirit.
Una vez más, Rab Shaul menciona el Espíritu.
Okay, we understand that the Ruach HaKodesh
Entendemos que el Ruach HaKodesh
is a part of the Godhead,
es parte del Dios cabeza.
and that the Spirit is the pneuma. It's not going to contradict the Father or the Son.
Y que el Espíritu no va a contradecir ni al Padre ni al Hijo.
Okay, so the Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit is,
El fruto del Espíritu es
okay, love. What is love?
amor. ¿Qué es amor?
Well, Yeshua said in John 14, verse 15,
Yeshua dijo en Juan 14, versículo 15,
you love me, you'll keep my commandments.
si me amas guardarás mis mandamientos.
And then he said in Matthew 5:18
Y también en Mateo 5, 18,
that the law is not done until heaven and earth is passed away.
que la ley no se ha terminado, no se ha acabado sino hasta que el cielo y la tierra pasen.
But in verse 22 again,
Pero en el versículo 22 otra vez,
the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. Okay, once again we see the word faithfulness.
una vez más estamos viendo la palabra
You know,
fidelidad.
because the Christians could quote all this, the fruit of the Spirit.
Porque los cristianos pueden citar el fruto del
They
Espíritu.
even make bracelets. This is my fruit of the Spirit bracelet.
E incluso hacen brazaletes que dicen, este es mi fruto del Espíritu.
They even have vacation Bible school with the fruit of the Spirit.
E incluso tienen las escuelas vacacionales con el fruto del Espíritu.
Okay, what is faithfulness?
¿Qué es fidelidad?
Let's see what it is in the Greek.
Veamos qué es fidelidad en el griego.
It's G4102.
Es G4102.
It is the Greek word pistis.
Es la palabra griega pistes.
It is number 1, conviction of truth.
Número 1, convicción de la verdad.
Number 2,
Número 2,
belief respecting man's relationship to God and divine things.
creencia respetando la relación del hombre con Dios y las cosas divinas.
Is the Shabbat a divine thing?
Es el Shabbat algo divino.
It's to be kept forever.
Se debe observar por siempre.
Are the holy days a divine thing?
Son los días santos algo divino.
The holy days are divine things. They are to be kept forever no matter where you live.
Los días santos son cosas divinas y se las debe observar no importa dónde
So you
estés.
can have all the kindness you think you want.
Puedes tener toda la bondad que tú creas que quieras.
You can think you're good.
Puedes pensar que eres bueno.
You can think you have joy.
Puedes pensar que tienes gozo.
But if you don't have a relationship with the divine things of God, you're just a pagan.
Pero si no tienes esas relaciones con Dios y las cosas divinas, entonces eres un
And this
pagano.
is what Paul is talking to his baby congregation about.
Y de eso Rab Shaul estaba hablando con su congregación joven.
The fruit of the Spirit is faithfulness.
El fruto del Espíritu es fidelidad.
That means the divine things of God.
Eso significa las cosas divinas de Dios.
And since God says in Malachi 3:6, I don't change.
Y como Dios dice en Malaquías 3:6, yo no cambio.
And in Numbers 23, I don't lie.
Y en Números 33, yo no miento.
He says my law is not going to disappear in Matthew 5:18.
Dice, mi ley no va a desaparecer en Mateo 5:18.
So that would be divine things.
Entonces harían cosas divinas.
Let's go to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Section number 9.
Sección número 9.
Section number 9.
Sección número 9.
This is verse 24 to 26.
Son los versículos 24 al 26.
So you see how interesting this letter is?
Ven qué interesante que es esta carta.
I don't think there's another place that's done a study like this.
No creo que hay otro lugar que haya hecho un estudio así.
Praise Yah.
Amén. Gracias.
Now hit the doggone donate button.
Ahora Dona,
24 to 26.
24 al 26.
Moreover, those who belong to the Messiah Yeshua have put their old nature to death on the cross, along with its passions and desires. Since it is through the Spirit that we have life, let it also be through the Spirit that we order our lives day by day. Let us not become conceited, provoking and envying each other. Very powerful part.
Una parte poderosa.
We have to put the old nature to death.
tenemos que matar a nuestra naturaleza antigua.
So now can we be like Harry Potter,
Ahora podemos ser como Harry Potter,
Buddha,
Buda,
Islamists?
islamistas.
No.
No.
Well, then that must mean that we're following the Torah.
Entonces debe ser que estamos siguiendo la Torah.
If we can't be like Harry Potter, that must mean we're following the Torah.
Si no podemos ser como Harry Potter, entonces quiere decir que estamos siguiendo la Torah.
What's the new nature?
¿Cuál es la nueva naturaleza?
I got my new wand. I can be like Harry Potter.
Tengo mi nueva varita mágica, si eres Harry Potter.
I can be like Buddha.
Puedo ser como Buda.
I can be like Confucius.
No puedo ser como Confucio.
No.
Confucio.
What?
Confuso.
What would mean I got to put the old nature to death?
¿Cómo puedo yo poner la naturaleza antigua a muerte o matarla?
Let's take it the opposite way.
Tomémoslo de la manera opuesta.
How does my new nature reflect Elohim?
¿Cómo mi nueva naturaleza reflexiona a Elohim? O se refleja a Elohim, perdón.
How does my new nature
¿Cómo mi nueva naturaleza
reflect Elohim?
refleja a Elohim?
If Yeshua, the Jew,
Yeshua, el
the
judío,
Hebrew,
o el hebreo,
walks into a Sunday church
entra a una iglesia del domingo
and he puts on a tali, maybe it won't be too crazy.
y se pone un talit, quizás no sea tan loco.
If he turns around
Si se da la vuelta
in the middle of the service
en medio del servicio
and he says, we got to face Jerusalem to do the Shema.
y dice, tenemos que darnos la vuelta y mirar a la dirección de Jerusalén y decir Shema.
What's the Shema?
¿Qué es el Shema?
Okay.
Don't try to witness to.
How does your new nature reflect Elohim?
¿Cómo tu nueva naturaleza reflejaría a Elohim?
Are you cleaning your house out of the leavening? I've been eating pancakes for the last 3 days.
Están limpiando sus casas de la levadura. Yo he comido panqueques todos estos 3 días.
Are you getting ready for the spring holy
Te
days?
estás preparando para los días santos de primavera.
Are you looking to donate your time to your congregation so it's the place that you meet with God?
Estás mirando donar tiempo para el lugar donde te reúnes porque es el lugar donde tú te encuentras con Dios.
Now, if you don't think God lives here, that we don't meet with Him,
Si tú crees que Dios no vive aquí, que no se encuentra aquí,
then don't come.
entonces no vengas.
There'll be more lamb for me.
Va a haber más cordero para mí.
If you don't think that the Lord lives here,
Si no crees que el Señor vive aquí
that we don't proclaim the truth,
y que no proclamamos la verdad,
then don't go do your Pesach somewhere else.
entonces vete a celebrar tu Pascua en otro lado.
We're not a cult. We don't try to keep people here.
No somos un culto y no tratamos de mantener o de detener a la gente aquí.
I'd rather have Pesach with 5 families that really love God than 500
Yo
people.
prefiero tener la comida de Pesach con 5 familias que aman la verdad a tener 500 personas.
Now, when I was a kid, I hated Passover.
Cuando era niño yo odiaba la Pascua.
We never ate lamb for Passover.
Nunca comimos cordero para la Pascua.
We're having brisket
Comeremos carne.
because my mother hated the taste of lamb.
Porque a mi mamá no le gustaba el sabor del cordero.
How could you taste anything over a cigarette?
¿Cómo puedes probar algo con el sabor de cigarrillo?
Your mouth tastes like an ashtray.
Si tu boca sabe como un cenicero.
Did you ever kiss somebody who was a smoker?
Has
It's like
besado a
kissing
alguien
an
que fuma.
ashtray.
Es como besar un cenicero.
It's like taking a vacuum cleaner. Okay? So how has your nature changed?
¿Cómo tu naturaleza ha cambiado?
Let's go on the next slide.
Vámonos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Last slide for chapter 5.
Última diapositiva para capítulo 5.
Verse 25.
Versículo 25.
Since it is through the Spirit that we have life, let it also be through the Spirit that we order our lives day by day. Okay? Would the Ruach ever contradict the Father?
¿Sea que el Ruach ha contradecido alguna vez al Padre?
See, that we need to learn how to order our lives.
Tenemos que aprender cómo ordenar nuestras vidas.
And that takes work.
Y eso toma trabajo.
Putting the old nature to death.
Matar a la naturaleza antigua.
The Ruach was sent to remind us
El Ruach fue enviado para recordarnos
of every word that the Word said.
de cada palabra que la palabra dice.
Order.
Orden.
How should a follower of Yeshua, the Jewish Messiah, order their life every morning?
Como un seguidor del Mesías ordena su vida en la mañana.
What do you do every morning?
¿Qué haces cada mañana?
I get up and I go to the bathroom.
Me levanto al baño.
What do you do every morning?
¿Qué haces cada mañana? Okay, Shema.
Shema, do you think the church does that?
Shema. ¿Crees que la iglesia hace eso?
Well, I get my cup of coffee and I read the Bible.
Bueno, me tomo mi taza de café y leo la Biblia.
Okay, how do you order your life?
¿Cómo ordenas tu vida?
All right. Next slide.
Siguiente diapositiva.
Okay, we're not going to be meeting through the holy days, so we're going to take a 3-week break.
No nos vamos a reunir durante los días santos y vamos a tomar
Because we're
un
not
descanso
meeting
de
next
3
Tuesday,
semanas.
I'm getting ready for Passover.
Porque no nos vamos a reunir el martes porque me prepararé para Pascua.
Then Pesach, and then we got to go through Hag Matzah.
Después para Hag Matzah.
Okay, we'll meet again in 2 weeks.
Probablemente nos reuniremos en 2 semanas.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, yeah.
Quizá en 2 semanas.
Not next 1 week, two. In the 3rd week.
En la tercera semana.
Because the holy days take precedent over anything.
Porque los días santos toman importancia más que nada.
Any questions?
Algunas preguntas.
Any comments?
¿Algún comentario?
All right, we're going to close in some prayer.
Vamos a cerrar con oración.
Thank you, Lord, for your blessings today. Thank you, Lord, for your servant Shaul. He was a man that tried diligently to get the people away from their pagan ways of life. But people have not changed to this day. Give us the strength to keep doing our job so that you can stay home, Yeshua, because we know 7 seals, 7 shofars, and 7 bowls have to come, and there's a lot of sadness during that time. Most of all, let us circumcise our heart to not think that the law is oppression, but to love you more and more each day and show you by our actions. In your name, Yeshua, and everybody said, Amen.
Shalom, this is Messianic Rabbi Andrew Dinnerman. I would personally like to thank you for tuning in to the Remnant's Call each and every week. You can listen to the full message on our website, bethgoyim.org. If you have drawn closer to the King of Kings, learned more about Him today, we are blessed. If you are blessed by these messages, please consider a donation to our ministry. You can go to our website, bethgoyim.org. That's BETHGOYIM.org. And click on the donate button. You do not have to have a PayPal account to donate. All you need is a debit card. Once again, thank you very much for listening to The Remnant's Call.
If you have not taken your first steps to be born again, just ask God's help. Remember, it's His loving grace that has come to find you. No one is worthy or able to reach God, but God can reach us, and He's reaching out to you now. Just open your heart and let Him in. His arms are open, and the blessing of salvation and eternal life are waiting for you. Don't let it wait any longer.
Ya Adonai, panavoleka, vikuneka, Yisa Adonai, panavoleka, vayasem lecha, shalom. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord lift His face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious unto you and give you His shalom.
Shalom. My name is Messianic Rabbi Andrew Dinnerman, and I invite you to come to visit our congregation. If you are in the tri-state area, come out and visit with us on Shabbat. We are a congregation of Jews and Gentiles, living as one in the Messiah Yeshua. Bgmc is a place of true worship. The focus never wanders from the Hebraic roots of our faith. Beth Goyim is rooted in the Word of God from Bereshit through to the book of Revelation. Messiah's strong words against man-made tradition are carefully recorded in Matthew 7. That is the reason we only follow the straight-up instructions found in Scripture. Truly, the way, the truth, and the life. If you're looking for a deeper walk with Adonai, come out for our Tuesday evening Bible study called Messianic Torah Time. Come, spend a day with us on any Shabbat. We start at 11 a.m. with the sound of the ancient Hebrew shofar. Next, we offer our King praise and worship in English, Hebrew, and Spanish. After worship, we review the headlines in the previous week's news from around the globe, especially news from the Holy Land, Israel. We don't just list the news headlines as current events, but we comb through the scriptures, searching for clues to understand what they mean and then to help pinpoint prophetically our current position on Adonai's clock. After digesting all that modern information, we leave the world behind as we journey with our Adonai deep into his eternal word, not with just one or two scriptures, but usually 7 or more scriptures. The spiritual nourishment and the richness of his kingdom become accessible to the ones who share this special time and seek them out. The day does not end there. Because Shabbat is so special to him, there is always so much more that our King desires to share. So instead of separating and leaving, we stay together as a family for potluck lunch and an afternoon study of our King's Word. We close the Shabbat together with the reading of the new week's parashah. That's the Torah portion. Even after those blessings, many of us just can't get enough. So the members bring prepared homemade foods to share while we all enjoy an uplifting movie together. If all that information is not quite enough, you can check out our website where you will find over 200 video teachings and biblical holy day studies. Under Messianic Torah Time, the Hebrew Roots button, you'll discover free studies on many, many different topics, including PowerPoint slide presentations. If Beth Goyim sounds like a place you'd love to visit, but you live outside the tri-state area, there is still a way to connect with us. We stream live on the internet on Tuesday, Thursday, and Shabbat. The website is www.bethgoyim.org. That's BETHGOYIM.org. Our phone number is 973-338-7800 or 978-2-YESHUA. That's 978, the number 2, Yeshua. Shalom.